I hate to start out my first video in a month out like this, but do you guys remember all that really cool Xeno-themed merchandise I have for sale? Well, Teespring is doing a special sale where all of that is on sale until the 7th of November if you use the promo code ALLSTAR10 when checking out. All of it legitimately looks really cool, and it would help support the channel if you bought stuff, so go check it out, my friends. You'll look really hot, trust me. You can access the link to my shop in the description or underneath the video. Just want to let you guys know, so let's get into what you're really here for. The Xeno universe is often known for its overpowered characters. Whether you can control all elementary particles, or create anything you can imagine, or reset the universe, the power scaling in these games can get intense. But one character stands above the rest in terms of power. I am, of course, talking about the maid robot Poppi QTpi. As far as Xenoblade 2 is concerned, she is a cut above the rest, the highest ranked blade in the game, and first place on the tier list. QTpi pretty much has no real weaknesses. Pretty much anything you want her to do, she can do better than any other blade, and offers unique things no other blade can on top of that. She fits perfectly on any team and will excel in any role you give her. In short, QTpi is broken. So naturally, in this video, we're going to discuss exactly why she's broken, and how you can set her up in order to take advantage of her biggest strengths. If you enjoy this guide content and have missed my videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel and look forward to my future content. Let's get into this. So, Poppi QTpi is the third and final form of Poppi, and as such can only be used by Tora. This restriction does not really matter much because QTpi makes Tora worth using in pretty much every situation. First things first, she comes with one of the highest auto attack stats in the entire game, only losing to Shulk and Pandoria. This will ensure the basis of all of her damage is going to naturally be very high. She also has one of the better critical hit tiers in the game, able to reach 40% with the Moon Matter core chip. Her block rate isn't great, but this does not really matter all that much. The defense stats can be changed depending on what Poppi swap modification you pick, but if you are using master mods, it can never fall below 15%, so her defenses will likely always be naturally high to ensure you have a bit of tankiness even with the least tanky of roll mods. She naturally has a blade switch cooldown of 5, which is among the highest in the game, so her uptime is fantastic. Although if you're controlling her, I don't know why you'd ever really want to switch off of her in most scenarios. We'll talk a bit more about her customization later. For now, let's just get into her skill tree. Poppi's first skill is Overclock. This is a very simple skill that just increases her damage at max affinity, 60% at level 1, up to 100% at level 5. This is your most standard damage increase ability, and also the most universally useful since max affinity is an easy threshold to reach in combat. Sure, it isn't as impressive as those DLC blades who get even stronger effects than this, but this is still a very nice skill nonetheless, and any form of free damage increase is great for helping offensive blades do as much as possible. Poppi's second skill is Nanomachine Repair. This will restore her health every second when she is under 30% health. It starts at 0.6% at level 1, rising to 1.4% at level 5. Truth be told, this ability is not very good at all. There are not many situations where QTpi will ever be this low on health to begin with, and this very small amount of health recovery only when under 30% health isn't going to be doing much for you in any situation. I would definitely say this is QTpi's worst skill, and probably the last reason she's as good as she is. This really isn't even a factor at all, and pretty much any other skill would end up being better. QTpi's last skill is Reflection. This one is simple to understand. At level 1, she has a 5% chance to reflect attacks, which rises up to 15% at level 5. Now, I personally don't really like RNG chance to activate abilities like this, but this ability can still technically be very useful. It's a 15% chance for any attack to just not affect you at all. That means no reactions disrupting you, no debuffs affecting you, and no damage ever taken. It's honestly really powerful when it activates since it's pretty much free immunity 15% of the time, but with QTpi's other skill sets, it doesn't really matter that much and you'll never really need this that badly since she has incredible self-healing, good defenses, and plenty of other ways to just not take damage at all. As such, the skill isn't really that great, and RNG abilities are always inherently bad to rely on, but for the times it does activate, it can be nice to have for that free immunity. Now, I know what you might be thinking. If two of her battle skills aren't that great, and the third is just an ability other blades have and some even have better versions of, then why is QTpi so incredible? Well, my friend, there are a few reasons. For one, since she is a Poppi form, she has incredible customization options that we'll get into, and 2, she has a really, really good art. Also, she has some very good specials, so let's talk about those first. Poppi's level 1 special is Poppi Ignition. It is a physical-based, 5-hit special and is extremely fast. This is honestly a contender for the best level 1 special in the game. It's one of the fastest specials in the game, but also 5 hits, and one of the hardest hitting level 1s in the game with all the things you can do to increase QTpi's damage. Its damage ratio may not seem that impressive at first glance, since it's pretty much average at 300 at level 1, rising to 460 at level 5, which also rises to 480 at max affinity. But that doesn't really matter that much since you can basically customize the effect how you want to increase the damage drastically. It's one of the best specials in the game for chain attack damage since it can easily be 5 hits of cap damage, and it's an incredible special for setting up fusion combo damage bonuses since it can be used right after breaking enemies and it's very fast. On top of all of that, it has a 25% critical hit mod, meaning that when you use the special, it will increase your critical hit rate by 25% for that special only, making it even easier to get critical hits when using this special. In short, this special is amazing and one of the best specials for doing quick burst damage to an enemy. Poppi's level 2 special is Nipponic Axion. This is an ether-based special and it is also 5 hits. Similar to the level 1, it can also do a lot of damage and easily damage cap all 5 hits in a chain attack. The difference is that it isn't nearly as fast. Because of this, there are actually a few situations where using QT's level 2 is better for speed, simply because this special is a bit slower than I'd like. Fortunately, if you don't care about speed, this special is also amazing. It once again has the 25% critical hit modifier to beef up the critical hit rate, but it also has an additional bonus effect of Pierce. This means it will nullify and bypass enemy defensive values when you use this special to always do the full damage as if the enemies had 0 in their ether defense stat. This can be very good against enemies with high defenses for ensuring you do as much damage as possible. This move also has a small area of effect, but it's often not the most useful, and if QTpi has any weaknesses, it's probably the lack of strong AoE. This special has another pretty average damage ratio, starting at 400 at level 1 and ending at 560 at level 5, rising to 609 at max affinity. Once again though, thanks to Poppi Swap and the other unique attributes of Poppi along with the Pierce effect, this hardly matters and the special is very useful for doing a lot of damage when you choose to use it. Poppi's level 3 special is Poppi Unlimited. It is also an ether-based special, and it's 4 hits this time. Typically 3-round chain attacks aren't that common, so it doesn't really matter as much for caps in this case, but this special is very easy to cap out. It's easily one of the strongest specials in the entire game, if not the strongest from a pure damage perspective. It can outdamage her level 4 in the right situations thanks to the bonus of level 1 through 3 specials at max affinity, and the fact that every part of the special pierces. That's right, this is another special that penetrates defensive values and it has a strong 50% critical modifier, so nearly every hit will be a critical hit, which in turn can give you a lot of damage thanks to QTpi's massive critical damage potential. Not even Corbin with his obscene damage ratios can really match the strength of this special if you have strong enough damage on QTpi. As far as the damage ratio, it's again not too special, being 500 at level 1, rising to 700 at level 5, and 748 at max affinity. Guess the damage ratios being average was a way to try to balance her or something, but it doesn't really matter. QTpi can hit really hard and do massive damage with this thanks to Poppi Swap and Pierce. Wrapping things off, Poppi's level 4 special is Quantum Judgment. Once again, Poppi is special in that being a Poppi form, not only does this special get its own bonus effect, but it also gets the bonus effect from the level 3 specification on Poppi Swap. The bonus effect it has naturally is a 100% chance to annul guard, which means enemy block rate is not a factor. Not the most useful, but still helpful, and the level 3 bonus also applying can still make this special hit very hard. In fact, this might also be the best level 4 in the game thanks to QTpi's damage. It is very good for setting up powerful damage over time effects on enemies since it can halt the driver combo timer and take advantage of fusion combo damage bonuses to get a massive damage over time on the enemy. It's 14 hits total, but it is worth noting that the first 4 hits that Tora does will not pierce enemy defense, but the remaining 10 hits by QTpi herself will pierce defense. The Tora hits is 500 of the total damage ratio of 1075, and the QTpi hits are 575 of the ratio, so nearly half of the ratio does not pierce enemy defenses. I do not know why this is, but this subtle difference is one of the reasons the level 3 can actually do more damage in certain situations. Regardless though, the level 4 gives a lot of flexibility since it can freeze driver combo timers and give immunity, and it is absolutely one of the strongest level 4s in the game. It helps that Poppi is extremely flexible with element, so she can easily be fired to use Volcano, which is the most powerful damage over time effect. Once again, this special just showcases how incredible QTpi is as a blade. All 4 of her specials are useful and powerful, and all have specific situations you might want to use them in. But what about the rest of QTpi? For a brief moment before we look at anything else, I want to go take a look at her arts in the driver menu. On the art list, you will notice that QTpi has a break art called Speedy Sword. This art is by far the best art in the entire game. I am not exaggerating when I say this. This art alone is QTpi's biggest strength, her strongest asset above any of her customization and damage and specials. This single art right here changes how the game is fundamentally played and makes QTpi who she is. You might be saying right now, it's just a break art, so what's the big deal? Well, you see, this break art hits 3 times, and it has a chance to apply break on every hit. Every other break art in the game only has 1 hit it can possibly apply break. Additionally, Tor gets break resist reduction on his hidden skill tree, and just so happens to have the highest luck stat as well, giving him a really good chance to break enemies when using this art. Break is one of the most fundamentally important parts of the Xenoblade combat system because it pretty much leads into everything, and QTpi happens to be by far the best at it. This makes her the best at driver combo locking enemies, the best at setting up fusion combos, and pretty much the best blade in the game. If that weren't enough, she also has a launch art, so Tor can effectively break and launch all in the same blade, and this launch art is also one of the best launch arts in the game. This makes Tor amazing at doing driver combos, and it's a fundamental reason QTpi is so incredible. The other 2 arts are Steady Beam, which is a free self-healing art, and Boom Boom Laser, which is probably his worst art and not as useful as the other 3 a majority of the time, but can still have some nice damage in certain situations. So with that being done, let's go back to talking about the rest of how to set up QTpi. For core chip, Moon Matter is easily her best. Critical hit rate is very powerful on QTpi because of how much you can buff her critical damage, and she gets a large auto attack stat from it as well. Now let's talk about a big part of setting up QTpi, Poppi Swap. So QTpi has a particularly powerful Poppi Swap menu because she has no restrictions on what she can equip except for fuel limitations. Any single part you want, you can equip. Any mod, any element, and any skill. This flexibility allows Poppi to easily fit on any team and fill any role you desire of her. Personally, I think Master Strike mod is probably her best mod because of the dexterity buff that will ensure that there's never too many accuracy issues, and you'll also get the attack blade class bonus you wouldn't get from an ether mod, so she'll actually do more damage on ether attacks this way. Muscle mod isn't that worth it since only 2 arts and 1 special use strength. 2020 defense is also a really nice benefit. Master Luck mod can also be a great option if you really need the break chance, and Master Evasion and Master Tank mod can be great if you're going for a more defensive or tanky setup, which can also work just fine on QTpi because of her flexibility. QTpi can be any element you want as well, but typically her best elements are Earth and Fire. Not only does she synergize well with many blades that have combos with these elements, but Earth has really strong immediate blade combo damage which can be useful against many enemies that you just need to kill quickly, and Fire has strong damage over time effects, which is great with Poppi's high special damage. All in all, though, you can easily just equip Poppi to hit whatever weakness an enemy has and take advantage of that free damage boost, plus extra huge boosts from Adenine and Petroka should you want to. Arts cards are, of course, Blade Arts. Critical Up and System Reset are really good for these because extra critical hit rate is great, and nullifying a debuff is also really good in many fights. You can also use stuff like Arts Plus and Accuracy Up should you want to. Special Enhancing Ram is of course the bonus effect your specials get, and Vital Charge is once again the best option for these since it's a huge damage increase that is very easy to reach. It's very easy to remain above 90% health with QTpi for a number of different reasons, so you'll get a lot of benefit out of running this. Poppi also has 6 skill RAM slots. This is 6 slots that you can use any aux core effect, along with many accessory and skill tree exclusive effects because QTpi is just that special. And this is one of the things that really sets her apart, and this is how you can really set yourself up to do a ton of damage. Probably most important among these skills is Pinpoint Weakness. This skill should pretty much never be taken off. It boosts your critical damage by 50%, and considering this is a powerful independent multiplier to additive damage increases, this benefits QTpi greatly since she'll get so much additive damage from the other slots and her skill tree. Absolutely use this effect because your critical hits will do a ton of damage if you do. Two other great damage increasing skills you can use are Vendetta, which increases damage to enemies targeting you by 50%, and Affinity Max Attack, which increases damage another 50% at max affinity. These conditionals are very easy to hit since QTpi will be taking aggro like crazy, and being at max affinity should always be a priority. Critical Restore 1 is a great skill ram to run because QTpi's damage is so high that 10% is plenty to always keep yourself healthy, and it's very fuel efficient since it only costs 25 fuel. A great use of this slot to ensure you stay above 90% health for your specials, and to do as much damage as possible. Piercing Lunge here is basically just permanent guard annul on everything. It isn't required and you can get more damage without it technically, but ignoring all guard rate means you'll always get full chances to break without interruption, and your damage will never get cut on specials from enemy guarding your attack, so I think it's worthy of a slot on most QTpi setups unless the enemy has no guard rate. The final slot I have here is Challenger, which is an 80% increase to damage against higher level enemies. If you meet the criteria for this conditional, this skill is one of the strongest damage increases and worth running for sure. Some other great skills include Fusion Combo Up, since QTpi is amazing at setting up fusion combos, Swift Strike if you're going for extremely fast fights that can end within 30 seconds, Outdoor Indoor Attack Up for easy to hit damage increase conditionals, Night Vision for accuracy, Critical Up if you really need the extra critical hit rate for party meter or something, and Front Attack Plus if you're always attacking from the front. For the most part, offensive QTpi and even defensive QTpi will run similar aux cores to these, so no matter what you want to do, a lot of the same principles apply for setup. For your accessories, the one constant you should have at all times is Master Scope, or Beta Scope if you don't have a Master Scope. The Master Scope is your best accessory by far because it can reduce break resistance of enemies by up to 50%. QTpi is all about breaking enemies, so unless you are facing basically the only important enemy immune to break Ophion, make sure you have this on. It's incredibly useful in pretty much every fight. It should never be unequipped. It is that good. Crimson Headband is also great on Tor for the critical damage increase, and when combined with Pinpoint Weakness, your critical hits can do an insane amount of damage to enemies. The final accessory is interchangeable in many ways. Burst Symbols are great for helping the party to get more damage for chain attacks, since QTpi won't have any issues capping out with everything else. Saber Attachment is a fantastic accessory for another independent damage increase, since that will increase QTpi's already high auto attack stat even further. Tachyon Scarf is a great accessory if you're going for long chain attacks and need break to remain active as long as possible for the fusion combo damage benefit. And even a Bisque Mask is good for another strong damage increase if needed. Crystal Earrings can also be great for instant party meter for chain attacks if you're going for as fast of kill as possible and you're starting with 0 party meter. And honestly, there's just a lot of things you can run on QTpi. Pretty much anything you want, she can make it work because she's really just that good. For pouch setup, I typically like to run Victory Smoothie and Hot Ruby Steamed Bun. Tora likes drinks, so Victory Smoothie is very efficient for boosting the art recharge and party gauge gain effect further, which Tora benefits from a lot since he can fire off more break arts. Tora also likes instruments though, so Clicky Clacks are a great item if you need to get your specials up as fast as possible. Pretty much anything will work though, because as I said, QTpi is QTpi and she is just that good. Let's finally get into the practical part of this video and show off QTpi in action. So if you're just generally controlling QTpi, then all you're going to want to do is just apply break as much as possible and make sure you have an ally that can apply topple. In my case, I have Dagas on Zeke because he gives me another damage increase with his Kaiser Zone effect, and he can also topple on Zeke. From there, every time any enemy gets toppled, I can just launch the enemy with Slooshing Slash. And we're pretty much golden from there to just do as much damage as we possibly want to with our arts and our specials. Poppi's level 3 is really powerful, as I said, with the critical modifier effect, and with Earth here, we can hit a damage cap blade combo pretty much every single time using that. So it is worth noting, this is a Super Boss on normal mode, and we're just able to really have an easy time with this. He's not even any kind of threat to us at all. And on this latest topple, I'm just going to level 4 to set up the fusion combo and chain attack him, and that's just going to be the fight, because QTpi is that powerful. You can see the level 4 here. These crits are doing a lot of damage to him. The Pinpoint Weakness and the Crimson Headband are really putting in a lot of work there. We got the topple, and now it's time for a very easy chain attack. We're going to damage cap every single hit of level 1 and finish off the remainder of his health bar. And that was very fast, as I already had stated. One of the fastest level 1s in the game. Very good level 1. And QTpi's damage is almost unmatched by any other blade in the game. She's definitely top 5 for damage, and her utility on top of that just makes her incredibly valuable. If we're hitting elemental weaknesses, we can basically double our damage even further if we have Patroka as an ally, which is just absolutely insane. QTpi's Break Art and level 1 special is so good you can actually use it to instantly get a full party meter and chain attack off of it. That's what I'm going to do in this fight right here before Elma can even activate her ghost to seal the party meter, and we can just instantly chain attack here on normal mode. We also have enough fusion combo time from our initial break to get a bunch of damage here, so we're just going to get some easy damage caps here. And this is all basically set up thanks to QTpi. Now I could use QTpi's level 2 here, but it's a little bit slow as I said, and I was going for speed in this challenge, but the QTpi level 2 would have been 5 hits of easy damage cap as well. I do use the Cutie here because like I said, her special is a little bit faster, which can be useful in certain situations. But besides that, basically this was all set up by QTpi. Without QTpi, we would not be able to get rid of the 3 Elmas that were sealing the party meter, and we're able to instantly get into another chain attack thanks to QTpi after this. And you'll see we can easily set it up just as quickly by swapping to her, using the break, using level 1 one more time, and now we have full party meter again and we can chain attack again. I do think I had crystal earrings here, but you can kind of just spam chain attacks with something like this. Crystal earrings on QTpi. Use your level 1 as much as possible, and yeah, it's really just that simple. There's so many viable things you can do with QTpi to just be incredibly valuable and just kind of wreck enemies, and there's just so many different strategies she has. If you want to see the full power of QTpi driver combo, then let's take a look at the very old strategy for Bringer of Chaos, Cloud Sea King Ken. One of the most consistent strategies for a Bringer of Chaos mission in the world. This enemy has 125 HP, but we're going to show off Tora's power with a damage over time effect here. So, Tora has something really nice going for him here, in the fact that you can control the break and the launch in this fight, which is actually incredibly valuable because you don't have to rely on RNG from AI Tora. You can just basically break whenever you need to, which is very, very helpful, as you might be able to imagine. And we're going to show off the power of Tora's level 4 special as well if you have a fusion combo in front of it. And we're going to set up a very powerful damage over time effect and get it to cap damage as soon as we possibly can. So we're waiting for the level 4 to charge for Tora because he's going to do a lot of damage with his level 4. And now we're going to set up the fusion combo here with Nim. And we can instantly use our Volcano, the strongest damage over time effect. And you're just going to see a very powerful damage over time effect get set up thanks to this level 4 that QTpi has. And 480,000, that is the initial orange number here. We get to 837,000 after just 1 smash, so after 2 smashes we're going to be at the damage cap for this. And from there it's just a matter of breaking every time the break art is up, and that's really, really easy to do thanks to Overdrive or lowering reaction resistance even further, and just Tora in general being really good at breaking. Tora is the key here to keep the enemy driver combo locked so he can't actually harm us. So even if we aren't running something like Critical Restore, we can still keep ourselves topped off on health and make sure we're doing as much damage as possible on our specials and everything like that, thanks to Tora's incredible ability to driver combo, and QTpi's massive damage as well, just on top of that making her fantastic in pretty much every situation. When an enemy gets toppled, you can throw in some more level 4s just to get the extra damage on it if you want to, and the overdrive meter up as well. You can pretty much just use Tora how you want. He's really great on any difficulty. He's great for chain attacks. He's great for driver combo locking. He's great for damage over time. You can set him up however you want. He can hit any elemental weakness. He has, like, QTpi has no weaknesses, really. The lack of AoE is the one thing she does not have, but other blades can cover that anyway, and it doesn't really matter because QTpi is just insanely valuable in pretty much any mission where you need to break an enemy, which is against all the major super bosses, against all the major challenges and stuff like that. QTpi is pretty much required to break. No other break art really comes as close to as useful as QTpi's break art is, and even if you can get some breaks, sometimes you'll never get the consistency that QTpi has. QTpi also offers some pretty powerful damage just with arts and specials herself, so you don't really have to worry about not doing damage and like you might be able to with other blades, because QTpi has a lot of damage. All those additives, all the critical damage bonus, like even if she's not going to be hitting the art spam damage of someone like Pandoria or Fiora, she's still going to be doing a lot of damage to enemies. And her unique skill set with the break art and all of her versatility easily make her the best blade in the entire game. You can't really go wrong, and you can easily experiment with any setup on her. If you want to, like, not driver combo lock enemies, you want to go more tanky QTpi, you can easily do that and pretty much survive against anything in the game with a Master Tank mod and, critical heal and, like, basically all that stuff. You can play very safe and just do whatever you need to do, that's pretty much. Honestly, I don't really have that much more to say about QTpi. She's really good, and it's really all about the setup and understanding how to take advantage of the break art and fusion combos. Once you have that down, you can use QTpi. I provided a really good setup in this video. If you just copy that, get her to S+ rank trust, and you will have a monster on your hands as well. I hope this guide was useful to you, and I hope it was worth the wait. I still have other guides planned for the future, and I think I'm finally over burnout, so look forward to the remaining Blade guides, and look forward to a Xenosaga playthrough on YouTube if you haven't been catching it on Twitch. Thanks for all of your patience, and thank you all for your continued support. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, join my Discord, follow me on Twitter, whatever other things you want to do to support me, and I appreciate all of that so much. Look forward to all of my future content, and with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.